Hi, I'm Craig Phillips. Welcome to my tiling trade tips. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set out and fix down your own floor tiles. Now the materials I'm going to use is an 800mm by 800mm porcelain floor tile. They're going to be fixed down with the rapid set floor tile adhesive. Now setting out is very important. The first tile that you fix down dictates where the rest of the tiles are going to be fixed. So what you need to do is find the very center of your room. Measure from wall to wall, find your center point. Once you've found your center point, you can get a dry tile and you can measure out. I'm going to measure about 100mm per tile here as a diagram. And the same again the opposite side. So for me, starting at the center, putting a tile either side, I've got 3 equal tiles here and then I've got a small equal cut either side, which won't look very nice once the full tiles are in place. So what I would suggest then is to start from your center line again, but this time your first tile straddles across the center by 50%, and that way your second tile will be here, your third tile will be here. You'll have an equal cut both sides, but it'll be the equivalent of around half a tile. This aesthetically will look nicer for the whole floor. I've drawn my line in the center of the room. I've started off dry laying the tiles, putting it right over the very center and working our way out. Got 3 full ones and a small cut on the opposite end. If that is too small, it's not going to look very nice. You need to come back to your center line, like I've done here, and place a full tile straddling 50% over the center line. So I've marked it on the middle of that tile. Again, I've stepped them out there, and as you can see, the opposite side is a larger cut. It will look a lot better. That way you're assuring that you've got equal size cuts each side of the room. Once you've done the side measurements, you can do the same on the full length of the room as well. Now, when applying the floor tile adhesive, it's very important to cover the whole area and get it equally spread. We do this by applying it down first with a trowel, spreading it nice and flat with the flat edge of a notch trowel, just until we cover the area, which is, of course, 800mm square on a tile. We're using this size. Then we turn our trowel over where it's got the notched edge of it here. These are set out at 13mm in depth. So what I am going to do is comb through that adhesive, and it's lifting any excess adhesive off there that doesn't need to be on the actual floor itself. This way I'm going to get a more even application of tile adhesive onto the floor and below the tile. Now once you've covered the whole area and you've combed it, you then need to butter the back of the tile as well. Most manufacturers recommend if the tile exceeds more than 600mm that you must butter the back edge of the tile. So I'm not going to comb it out on here. I am going to use the trowel, but spread it out relatively thin, but nice and flat, covering the whole tile. Now by covering the back of the tile nice and smoothly and combing it out onto the base itself, it's going to eliminate the chance of any air bubbles gathering directly underneath the tiles itself, or any voids, which of course is what you don't want. You place the large tile down nice and gently. Before you apply any pressure, start to butt it up to the first tile that you know is nice and square and in place, just by rocking it a little bit up to the spacer, checking that it is running directly in line with what we made in the center of the room. So once you've laid each tile, get yourself a damp cloth or a sponge, making sure that you're wiping off any excessive adhesive off the face of the tile before it dries. Check with your spirit level that you're happy that you've got them flush and level, making it easier using these leveling systems as well. They're great. They simply slide underneath the first tile, you lay the second tile on top of that, and then you use a wedge which wedges into the system and it pulls it up, and the bottom part of here makes the bottom of the tiles flush, therefore the top of them are going to look flush as well. At the moment, I'm building my entire house, so I've got tradesmen working in all different floors. So if you're doing a large area flooring like we are here, it's ideal to pull some extra hands in, and it helps if they've got experience doing tiling as well. Now, if it's an old house that you're renovating and you happen to be tiling the floor, if it's uneven, make sure it's cleared off and you apply some self-leveling compound first so it spreads over it, gets you a nice even and smooth surface to work on. When laying tiles into a large area, some manufacturers recommend an expansion joint, so always double check when purchasing your tiles whether it's applicable for your size area. Okay, so this particular one here was a straight cut. We've measured it from the end of the tile into the wall here, and then of course it will be covered by the skirting board. However, the next cut along here is going to mould around the reveal of the window, so therefore there has to be two cuts. What people quite often do is tile the whole floor and leave these two cut areas until the end, and you can actually walk on them then and do them the next day. It's a little bit easier. Or you can measure them up as you go, cut them and fix them down. It's your choice. Whenever cutting any tiles with an abrasive wheel, always use your personal protective equipment, safety goggles and ear defenders. I've created further tile cutting videos on Tile Mountain's YouTube channel. We started off at first light and the boys marched on through, well, until we nearly lost the light, but we did manage to fix down all of the tiles successfully. We've been polishing them up as we've gone along to get rid of all the excessive adhesive, but you'll find tomorrow morning they may dry a little bit cloudy. Simply wipe them all down before you start to grout. And I'd always recommend leaving them to dry for a full 24 hours before you start to grout. Now, I hope I've inspired you to be able to tile your own floor. There's plenty more videos to watch on Tile Mountain's website, tilemountain.co.uk.